Hi, my name is Christine Adam. I'm a voice, accent, and communication coach here to answer questions that you have brought up with me. And today's question is, how do I stop mumbling? So let's start by talking about what mumbling is. I would say the general word that we could use to think about mumbling is a kind of non-commitment. And it's characterized in two ways. So there's a kind of non-commitment to the physical energizing of the voice. So the kind of sense of sending your sound waves up and out so that they reach who you're talking to. When you're mumbling, there's a kind of like a non-commitment to that. And so what that means is you can kind of feel that the energy of the voice is sort of like falling flat or even back on me, right? So that's the first thing. And because I'm not committing to really sending my sound up and out, there's not as much literal vocal energy or sound waves for my speech muscles to shape into differentiated sounds, which is the second kind of characteristic of mumbling, where the words are sort of slurred or crunched together because my speech muscles aren't really committing to articulating all of the differentiated sounds within the words. So then everything kind of runs together. You can even sort of see how that makes a difference in my speech muscles, right? So if that's what mumbling is, then there are two more obvious ways to approach mumbling where we can really look at vocal energy and articulation, and we'll talk about those. And then there's a less obvious approach to mumbling where we're really exploring how do you feel about what you're saying and do you want to be heard? And how can that help you with the first more obvious ways? So let's talk about the physical and vocal approach first. And just to say that I've made a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of podcast warm-ups that really address the issues I'm going to talk about in depth. So I'll make sure to link to those videos in the notes so that you'll have some resources to go to. So in terms of vocal energy, when you're mumbling, something that you can do is you can really start to commit more to using your support muscles so that you can send your sound and channel your sound to where you want it to go. So that's step one, right? Rather than kind of like letting everything fall back, you can hear the difference. We're going to kind of really commit to, I'm going to send my sound up and out. The voice is sound waves, and those sound waves don't just emerge out of you, but they actually travel through space. So the more specific you are with your support muscles, and also the more specific you are with your intention of where you want the sound to go, will make it easier for those sounds to actually travel through space and get where they need to go to your listening audience. So that's step one. I'll link some videos that talk more about that below. The second approach is to get more flexibility and dexterity in your articulator muscles, which is a fancy word for those muscles that shape speech. So your lips, your cheeks, your jaw, your soft palate, your tongue, right? Doing exercises that can really help you increase the dexterity of those muscles so that when those sound waves are coming up and out, they can commit to really creating all of the different sounds within the words that you're making. So I will link to some podcast episodes that can help you warm up those muscles. And then of course, there's this third, maybe kind of less obvious approach, which is to ask yourself, if you're finding yourself mumbling, to ask yourself the question, do I want to be heard? Often if the body is mumbling and there is this kind of non-commitment to or holding back of the words and ideas that you're trying to express, it's usually for a reason. If you're not 100% behind what you're saying, or if you're not totally comfortable with the people that you're speaking with and you're not sure that you can, really voice what you're trying to say in front of them, the body picks up on those things. And then the body doesn't help you. The body then doesn't commit to what you're trying to say. So starting with this question of, do I want to be heard? Even if the answer is no, or I'm not sure, can be really good news, because then you can start to clarify, okay, well, what do I need to do to create the conditions in which I am more willing to be heard? Do I need to look at my message? Do I need to address what I'm saying in a different way so that I'm 100% behind it? I really believe what it is I'm trying to say. Or do I struggle with the attention that I receive when I'm speaking? And do I need to get some support so that I can manage my feelings around that attention better? Am I comfortable in the relationships that I'm speaking in? And if I'm not, because we're not always comfortable in every relationship, is there something within my control that I can do to make myself feel a little bit more at ease so that I can voice what I'm trying to say and commit to it? Right? It's things like these kind of questions that will make the initial physical exercises work so much better, because we can do all sorts of physical and vocal exercises to help with your mumbling, but if you don't want to be heard, there will be a disconnect between what you're doing in those exercises and the act of speaking. So this kind of final piece will help bridge the two. And sometimes, right, we can get into habits around mumbling also. So in starting with that question of, do I want to be heard? That might help us discover, well, yes, in this moment, I actually do want to be heard. And I may have habits from previous experiences of maybe not wanting to be heard, but just that acknowledgement of, but in this moment, I really do. Like, all of those reasons are not really relevant to the here and now of why I might have this habit of mumbling. Then those physical and vocal exercises can help give you choice around making the decision, but I want to change. I want to change and actually be heard in this moment. So as always with voice work, there is an outside in approach and an inside out approach, because the voice is a reflection of the whole person. So the outside in approach is about doing the muscular, physical, and vocal work, the work with the breath support muscles, the work with the physical release, the work with the building the dexterity of the articulators, so that you have the choice, right? You can choose how you use your body and how that affects your voice. And then there's the inside out approach of checking in with, how is my internal experience affecting my communication, and how can I adjust so that I am the most committed to what I'm trying to say as possible? And the two inform each other, right? The physical and vocal exercises will work so much better for you when you've also got the inside out approach supporting that. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please share this video. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you can get regular communication tips. Be in touch. Let me know how it went. Let me know other questions that are coming up for you. And as always, if you want some more personalized coaching with this, feel free to reach out. I'm Christine at voicewhatmatters.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.